I see.
Okay. So,
Okay.
yeah, I just, if you guys want to introduce yourselves, and then just letting everybody know that we are here to share our cancer stories and progress and fears and everything we're facing and have faced with other people to really try to help everybody because this is a very lonely place to be, a very scary place to be. And to know that you're not alone, even though you feel alone, can be very important. So would you guys like to go ahead and introduce yourselves?
I'm Maritza here,
My name is Francois.
and my husband is currently fighting stage 4 colon cancer.
And those who have been following my journey, I'm a little further along. I was also diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer and given a terminal diagnosis of a few months to live. And that was about 2 years ago. So
Wow.
Maritza and her husband have reached out to me and asked, what I did. And so I figured if I could answer it for them, maybe I could answer it for other people too. So
Okay.
yeah, what questions do you guys have for me, or what are your main concerns or troubles right now?
Cool.
Okay.
I want to know, my husband did the first year of chemo and radiation, and he said no more. He was too sick and weak, and his
Okay.
body couldn't tolerate it anymore. So now when we went to the doctor said his tumor markers or cancer, how do you tell it? The numbers were 45 in January and now 500. But I said, and now he's pushing for chemo. But I told my husband, chemo is not the answer. I think it's the way we're eating. Because at the
Okay.
moment, he has a very healthy appetite and he's eating everything and anything. But I
Okay.
still believe the answer is in the diet.
Yeah. So if you are listening to your body and you really feel that chemo would do more harm than good, I'm not a doctor, not a medical professional, but I made the choice to go more fruits and vegetables and raw eating to help heal my body. A healthy individual should eat 50% of their diet as raw fruits and vegetables. And then the other 50% of the diet should be cooked, clean foods. So free of all preservatives and added stuff that we're just not supposed to be digesting to begin with. In the US, our government allows a lot of bad things in our foods that make us need their hospitals and drugs later.
Yes.
And I feel that, many countries may follow something similar. I'm just not knowledgeable in it to speak on it. So cooked clean foods might be, fry up, and I say fry up, I dry fry or air fry. I don't use any oils. If I do use an oil, especially during my transition in the beginning, I would use raw, cold pressed, unrefined nut or seed oils, coconut oil, grape seed oil, olive oil, but definitely cold pressed and unrefined. You don't want anything, you want to try to keep things as unaltered as possible.
As you got it.
Right. Go back to nature. If you want it spicy, slice up a jalapeno and put it in there. You want it, you can add some garlic or basil or whatever herbs and plants that are around you that are native that you like. Something fun I did is I would often ask Google, hey, is this food alkaline or this food acidic? Because cancer can't survive in an alkaline body, or at least that's the research I read and what it suggested. So one of my main focuses was making my body as alkaline as possible through the foods I ate. For the most part, I monitored my pH levels with little test strips that you can use for urine or saliva. And I went for a blood gas test, which is an artery, like where they go into your, it's like an arterial blood stick, I guess. And it's not pleasant, but it is the most accurate pH read in your body. And it took me like 5 or 6 doctors and different requests before anybody would even agree to, let me have one of those tests. But once I could kind of match up those numbers with what was on my test strips, I knew, kind of where it was in like a sliding scale. So I did 2 of the arterial blood sticks to get a decent read on what my strips were telling me. And my strips were pretty accurate. So I'm not necessarily suggesting everybody go through that either. Again, I'm only sharing my story. So I sat there and started making lists of the alkaline foods. And I started making lists of the acidic foods. And everything I loved and ate was acidic. I threw the biggest temper tantrum. It was heartbreaking. I used to drink a gallon of milk a day, give me half a pound of cheese and let me put that on top of some hamburgers and some steak or some shrimp or some. I loved my meat, potatoes, cheeses, and milk. I'd eat a few veggies. Okay. Well,
nothing because it's him.
Stick with me here because all that's acidic and that's probably why we have cancer. I'm not saying those foods are bad. I'm saying in the quantity with which most of us consume them and called it normal, it's too much for our body to handle. So in the beginning part of my journey, I really focused on what can I do? Oh, other acidic things that I absolutely loved and didn't want to give up included desserts, sweets. It includes my bourbon, my wine, my cigarettes. So yeah, hear that smoker's cough? Yes, I kicked cancer's ass with a cigarette in my hand. I got to give those up next. November 1st is my quit date. I've actually challenged myself to beat my quit date. Don't need to tempt cancer to come back again, but I wasn't going to quit during the most stressful time of my life.
No, you already gave that up.
Good. You're a step ahead of me. But part of it was, why am I going to quit smoking if everybody's telling me I'm going to die? I'm going through the most stressful time of my life. Why would I give that up? Well, now it's turning the corner. Things are looking much brighter. And I'm like, okay, definitely need to give it up, but it's a journey. So take it at your own pace. You don't have to be perfect at it, but you do need to make a good, solid attempt if you want to see a drastic change within your body. And so when I found out that all the foods I loved were all the foods that I couldn't eat, I really, I went on this temper tantrum. I can't believe I can't have this. I can't have this. What the heck? I'm going to starve to death. Like I panicked. And I was like, what's left? I'm like, fruits and vegetables. Great. Well, part of the holistic journey is finding meditation time. And that's kind of the opposite of prayer. Praying is when you're asking God for something. Meditation is finding that silence between your own thoughts and listening for God's answers. And he kind of came down, slapped me around a little bit and said, you told the doctors to go pound sand. You told them to go away. You need to accept me and my medicine into your life. The way that spoke to me and what that meant to me, again, not saying this is going to work for everybody, but it was like, okay, God's living foods heal the body. That's supposed to be 50% of a healthy person's diet. So let me look into increasing the living foods to heal my body. Then I found Fully Raw Christina on YouTube. great energy. I watched a few of her videos. And I'm not saying I bought into anything particular, but watching her drink these big jugs of juice, I was just like, I could almost feel my body craving it and desiring it. So I bought a cheap juicer and I started juicing. I couldn't drink enough juice. And I made 3 different colors of juice every week. And it was anything red I could find in a juice. I didn't care if it was berries or beets or melons. Did a yellow juice. Again, it could be melons and pineapples and anything yellow. Carrots, orange. Carrots could have gone on either, maybe both. Yellow beets, turmeric, ginger. Get creative. If your body's saying, I want it, and it's a fruit or vegetable and it's raw, I would say give it to it. Don't juice raw bamboo. I almost gave myself cyanide poisoning with that one. I didn't realize I had to cook that first. Definitely consult with Google if you're trying anything too radical. It'll tell you, follow the recipes, not just, hey, is it good for me? And then try it on your own without looking up a recipe or something to get an idea. Let's see here. And then my green juices. Oh, I've made some gaggable green juices. I'm not a big salad eater. Don't like my greens. Struggled with that one for a while, but eventually I found a couple that are kind of tolerable. I can definitely share some of those recipes too later. But I drank my juice like my prescription. The gaggable green juice went down first because I knew if I saved it for last, I probably wasn't going to drink it that day. So now when I made the juice, I made like the yellow juice first, then the red juice, then the green juice. So I didn't have to wash my juicer. I could just cycle them all through. But then I drank them in the opposite order. So red juice, I would chug 16 to 32 ounces of that as quickly as I could, usually power chugging through a straw because that was the quickest way I could get it down. Then the red juice, yellow juice, whichever one I like better, I'd save it for last. I came up with some really amazing juices, some iffy juices. It doesn't matter. Pour that nutrition into your body. It beats getting hooked up to this port I got in my chest.
Same. You also got one.
Oh, yeah. Yep. No, my port's right here. Still hasn't been taken out.
Yeah, the doctor don't want to.
I've been on feeding tubes. They turned me into a diabetic while I was on a feeding tube. I came off the insulin as soon as they took the feeding tube out. So the doctors were poisoning me to keep me alive. Or at least that's the way I interpreted it. And so that straw, that juice cup, that's my new port. And man, it's 1,000 times better than the ones the doctors gave me. Okay. And then so I wasn't really ready to give things up yet. I was making healthier switches, but first thing in the morning, I was drinking 64 ounces of juice or more. And then in my brain, I was going, and then eat whatever you want. Well, after the first 3 weeks, I hated my brain because it didn't want the same things that I found were comfort foods. I'd have a couple bites of mac and cheese and I'm like, ugh, this just doesn't taste the same. It even felt weird in my mouth. Or I'd go we have a fancy cookie bakery around here called Crumble Cookie. And I was a crumble addict. I loved my crumble cookies. And I'm talking this big old, nicely iced, beautiful, almost a piece of art cookie for, I don't know, probably 1,500 calories. One cookie. I promise you I could sit down and eat that whole thing with a half gallon of milk. But my body didn't want that. Well, I remember I was like, I've been good for a month. Let me cheat. I'm going to go get a crumble cookie. And I cut a piece off of that cookie and it just wasn't as good as it looked anymore. Like my taste buds started changing. But I still desired a lot of that stuff. So I got creative with some of my recipes, and I've got a raw vegan caramel, raw vegan, or like a coconut chia seed pudding, chocolate avocado mousse, raw vegan turtles, which are like a caramel chocolate nut candy. All of it completely healthy.
That's nice.
A lot of it is made with cancer fighting foods.
Okay.
So, and then I started tweaking some of these recipes and coming up with stuff. And I've got one that I was at the farmer's market the other day and I found a few different things. So I'm going to just throw it all in a pot not a pot, but in my blender and blend it, dehydrate it, and see if I can't come up with like something I like.
You're just going to the bathroom quickly.
Yeah. So, I Google a lot in this journey and give yourself time and grace to move into it. But I would really suggest starting with smoothies or juices in the beginning and just take in absolutely as much nutrition as your body tells you can handle.
So you suggest you juice and eat all the raw fruits and veggies that you can handle.
Every little, yeah. Like your life depends on it.
So
and then it's like, I would have like cheese and crackers, but I would use goat cheeses because they're anti-inflammatory versus cow cheese that's inflammatory.
Oh yeah.
So I would use goat cheese, and then I would use like a clean wasa cracker, or I've learned to make juice pulp crackers, which are even healthier. Recipes I find on Google. I can't take credit for them. I find them on Google.
Yeah. So learning and searching.
Yeah. Like I have learned to make raw vegan banana bread, raw vegan cinnamon rolls, raw vegan carrot cake. There's raw vegan pizzas, raw vegan burgers. And all you need is a dehydrator. So.
Oh yeah. I must just invest in that.
I'm sorry? What did you say?
I must just invest in a dehydrator.
Oh, yeah. A dehydrator is a great
I must invest in a dehydrator.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got one of the ones with like 7 layers because I'll make a lot so I can eat on it for 2 or 3 days. And I found one pretty inexpensive on Amazon. I think mine was less than $200.
Okay, I'll ask my son to bring me one. He's in America.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so I mean, and then you can ask, what berries are best to fight cancer? What nuts are best to fight cancer? What grains are alkaline? What, just get creative in the questions you ask Google and allow that to kind of help guide you in what you prepare.
Okay, And tell me, if you drink and if you juice and eat these fruits and veggies a day, do you still have to consume water extra or what? Amount of water.
I do. And I feel like you should. So like, but my waters, what I do is I get like a high pH water or a very alkaline water. Today is not a good example. I haven't gone outside yet, but I'll often put like some mint or some lemon rind or orange peel. I'll put different things in my water to flavor it. Sometimes I'll add some of my herbal supplements that are in a dropper. Maybe, I'll add a dropper full or 2 of like turkey tail or oyster mushroom or chaga. I don't use them all the time. I did work with a holistic healer that could help recommend what, I might need and when. And then sometimes I just go in and be like, oh, I haven't taken that in a while. Let me put a couple
Okay.
drops in my bottle. And in the
Okay.
beginning,
So
to
didn't
really,
you take any medicines, only herbs and stuff?
what was the last part?
I say, did you take any medicine what the doctors gave you, or only herbs or stuff?
In the beginning, in the
Like
first
for
8,
pain?
yeah, in the first 8 months, I did. And then I started backing off of what they gave me. And just, yeah, I tended to go more all natural. And that really incorporated quite a few things.
Okay.
Like I used a lot of frankincense in the beginning. And I would use that primarily orally. I used it in conjunction with a few other oils. I got it through Young Living. And I have somebody that really helped guide that journey for me, and I can recommend them to pretty much anyone.
Okay.
She was amazing. And one of the things that she found was by consuming a certain amount of frankincense, and she found the amount that was right for me. It was a lot for like, I think it was 6 weeks. I forget, it was 6 weeks or 8 weeks, but it really helped cleanse and reverse and whatever it did. As soon as I did it, the doctors were like, wow, we can't explain your miraculous progress, but yet they wanted me to stay on treatment the rest of my life. So, but I did that in conjunction with so many other things. I can't for sure say, oh, that's exactly what it was. I did detoxes. I got an ionic foot detoxifier to draw the toxins of my body out of the bottom of my feet. And I also found a sauna that's local. And I'd go sit in the sauna 2 or 3 times a week after my ostomy was reversed. I do have a massage therapist that comes to my house once every 2 weeks to help, keep things moving. And I'm sure that helped with healing, scar tissue, all of that. I've done little bits of cupping. I've used different oils around incision sites. But all of that, it's kind of a personalized journey because everybody's body is different. And if you're talking to a healer and not a doctor, they're really going to work with you to find the exact right path for you. But if your doctor is not asking about your diet and your lifestyle before prescribing your medication, they're a dealer. They're not a healer. So you really want to sit there and find the doctors that are going to tell you what you don't want to hear. You got to give up the acidic foods, at least primarily.
Yeah.
Once a week, okay. Your body can handle that if you've power packed the nutrition into the rest of your week. And then your body will slowly eliminate what it wants to eliminate. And if you want to continue to cheat and your body allows it, then personally, I think it's okay. I mean, yeah, it's just my definition of moderation has changed drastically. So, I don't know.
You're still there?
Yeah, I'm still here. My internet connection is.
He has a trampoline. He also has a trampoline, so he's getting on it every night. Not long, because he's struggling with his leg, but he's doing that.
Good. Good. Yeah, any kind of exercise is healthy and
But we want to
good.
do this.
Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but we're gonna do this diet. Do you think he's gonna lose a lot of weight or what? If we
So I
change to
would
raw?
say 90 days is what, like, if you can go as raw as possible for 90 days, you're going to feel
Okay.
your body shift in so many ways. And I had things healing in me that I didn't even know were wrong. My energy went through the roof. Well, let me walk you through that first, because before I tell you all the wonderful things, you're going to go through a detox, right? I embraced it very quickly because my life depended on it,
Yeah.
right? So I jumped in. I actually went, cleaned out my cupboards, gave away a lot of food. I embraced it very quickly. And for about a week, I felt a little nauseous, a little headachy, just kind of, I wasn't throwing up. I was, nothing like that, but it was just, ugh, But at the same time as feeling ugh, I also had all this energy building up. Like, the only way I could describe it is I felt amazingly sick. Like, I never felt, like I never felt so good for being sick. It was really weird. So I held on. I was like, there's something to this, because I can feel good and sick at the same time. So then let's see, from there, it kind of went into, I don't feel sick. I've got all this energy. Oh my goodness, what am I going to do? And it was like I was spinning in circles, not knowing what to do with all this energy. So I held on for the ride. I was like, this is kind of cool. What's it going to do next? And so then as it kind of planed out, I sleep 6, maybe 7 hours a night. I feel like I have 20 pots of coffee pumping through my veins almost consistently. I don't own a TV because I can't sit down long enough to focus on it. I want to be doing stuff. Yeah, so, and then it was like, I started feeling things really change within my body. And my taste buds changed. My senses kind of changed. People started going, Corey, you've got a glow about you. What's going on? Like, and I felt good. Like, I actually felt better than I did in my 20s. And I'm 46 years old, diagnosed at 44 with a terminal cancer. And I'm feeling like I'm back in my 20s. And I wasn't perfect at it. Everybody goes, oh, go 100% raw. Most of the cells in our body die off and regenerate within 90 days. Hence, the idea is to rebuild them on nothing but good stuff going in your body. And so, I actually switched to an organic cigarette. I know it sounds oxymoronic, but I didn't want the chemical filled ones. I didn't drink much anymore for those 90 days, and I still don't. And I went about 80% raw. I couldn't completely get there, but everything else was clean. And that was enough for my body to heal. And I actually feel amazing there. So I'm still about 80% raw, maybe 70% raw and 30% cooked. But still mostly an alkaline diet, and still tweaking things in my lifestyle to do better and be better. So it's a journey. You just got to give yourself grace to grow into it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and know that it will, if it's too much on your body, back off, go a little slower. Maybe don't start with 64 ounces of fruit juice every day like I did. Listen to your body. Maybe
Mm.
it's 16 ounces the first week and
Okay.
32 the next week, and then go to 48 and get to 64. Maybe you don't need 64. I don't
Mm.
know. Listen to your body on the journey, but the idea behind it for me was just to go as raw as possible. And if you like sweets like I do, use the sweets that have cancer fighting properties in them. Maple syrup, sorghum syrup are the two that I have found. But there might be others out there as well. So there might be something
Okay.
native to you that has cancer fighting properties in it. And I find it by asking Google more questions. What are the health benefits of? And whatever it is I'm looking at, Google will tell me, and every now and then, oh, has cancer fighting properties. Okay, cancer
Mm.
likes to eat and feed on sugar. Well, if I'm going to feed it
Mm.
sugar, let me feed it a cancer fighting sugar, kind of like, you know, bug bait or rat bait that you leave out. They're just going to eat the poison. Well, that's what I'm hoping to do with the sugars I'm putting in my body. Give them cancer fighting sugars in hopes to kill it off that way too.
Mm.
But then the sweets are, you know, more acidic. So I'll drink some lemon juice to try to counteract the acidity. Or some baking
Okay.
soda, or, you know, so I just try to balance it and find the healthy medium.
Okay. Yeah, we're going for it.
Yay. Well, I wish you
Yeah.
all the luck, and you do have my texts or my, you know, my communications open to you guys always. So if you have something you're craving or whatever,
Yeah,
I can
thank
always
you.
give you some recipes. I even have a good raw vegan
Oh,
Alfredo
I would love if
sauce.
you send me.
Okay. Okay. I'll
Okay.
definitely send you
I
some.
would love if you send me some recipes.
Sure.
Corey, thanks for taking the time to talk to us.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
We'll keep you updated. I believe we're going to heal from this.
I will keep you in my prayers. Stay strong. Listen to your body.
For you. Thank you.
Thank you
You're very welcome.
much.
Have a good day.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
All
Bye.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye.